The Ball family is one of the most well-known groups in basketball, but even so, there's plenty of things that you don't know about the many family members. I'm not going to waste much time, so let's just go over everyone in the Ball family. LeVar Christopher Ball was born on October 23, 1967 to Anderson and Maria Ball in South Los Angeles, California. LeVar has a total of 6 siblings, 4 brothers and 2 sisters, but he is considered the middle child among all of them.
I got 4 brothers and 2 sisters.
Okay.
We had a big family. My pops and mom stayed together, man.
He grew up playing sports with his brothers all over South Central LA, where he learned a physical, fast-paced style of play. I'm thinking young Charles Barkley? LeVar was a star in multiple sports during his high school career at Canoga Park High School in Los Angeles, including football and, of course, basketball. In one season, the big man, who today stands at 6'5" tall and who weighs 250 pounds, pulled down a school record 316 rebounds in a single season. This competitive nature and elite athleticism led LeVar to a collegiate career which started at West Los Angeles College, which is a junior college close to home. Here, LeVar excelled, earning himself a scholarship to Washington State University. Even though he had been excellent prior to his time in Pullman, LeVar wasn't able to get on the court much for the Cougars, only averaging about 11 minutes per game and just over 2 points per game for Washington State in his only season there, as the team had a record of 13-16. Frustrated with a lack of playing time and his difficult fit with the coaching staff, LeVar transferred to Cal State Los Angeles to continue his basketball career. LeVar claims his lack of success at WSU was partially due to the direction of the coaching staff, saying that the staff decided to focus on defense primarily. In an interview with DJ Vlad, he said, quote, "I get to Washington and the coach starts stressing on just defense. So now we scoring 40 points a game. So I get the ball, I go to the wing, I go to dunk or whatever." He says, "LeVar, we don't want that. We want the ball to be passed around 8 to 10 times." End quote. At Cal State Los Angeles, not only did LeVar meet his future wife Tina, but he also was an all-conference performer on the basketball court. Academically, he majored in criminal justice, dreaming of one day becoming a U.S. Marshal. Can't you see it? Sergeant LeVar. Even though his basketball career appeared to be drawing to a close, LeVar's athletic ability allowed him to continue his professional sports career. After coincidentally catching the eyes of members of the New York Jets coaching staff during a summer pro-am basketball league at Loyola Marymount in California, he was invited to participate in a tryout. With his size, strength, and athletic ability, it's actually no surprise that the tryout went very well. Ball ran a 4.6 40-yard dash at 270 pounds while bench pressing 500 pounds, which is very good. Later, LeVar said about the workout, "I caught everything they threw at me. All your best tight ends are your power forwards, dudes that have great hands and have natural shake and bake moves like me. I never even played football in college. That's how good I was." Stay humble, LeVar. LeVar was initially signed to the practice squad for the New York Jets as a tight end and defensive end, but he never actually made the active roster for the team. The Jets ended up going a different direction at tight end, drafting Penn State tight end Kyle Brady, but LeVar remains undeterred that he was the better player, saying, quote, "I was way better than him, but they'd look like they were wrong on the pick if I'm playing ahead of him, so it was political. Ain't no way he could mess with me." End quote. Might be stretching the truth a little there. Instead, LeVar traveled overseas to London, where he played for the newly formed World League of American Football, later known as NFL Europe, as a part of the London Monarchs. He was a backup tight end for them and didn't record much in the way of stats, only returning 2 kicks for a total of 28 yards, which further tells you maybe what he was saying about Kyle Brady was not true. The Monarchs starting tight end Michael Titley said of LeVar's potential, "If he'd have had a couple of opportunities and some more time, I think he could have made something of himself football-wise." In the end, LeVar's only other opportunity in pro football was another short stint on the practice squad for the NFL's Carolina Panthers, but he quickly turned his attention to more entrepreneurial pursuits. Instead of becoming a U.S. Marshal, Ball instead became a personal trainer in Chino Hills, California, helping young athletes reach their full potential. LeVar also prepared himself to coach his sons in the future. Soon after, Lonzo, LiAngelo, and LaMelo were born. LeVar dedicated himself to helping their potential, training them 7 days a week and giving them the confidence to succeed at higher levels of basketball. Instead of going the traditional route and putting his kids in the AAU circuit with existing travel teams, LeVar instead created his own 17 and under AAU team known as the Big Baller VXT AAU team, nice name, where all of his sons could play together. He also coached this team, creating an atmosphere in which the kids could thrive in an offense-heavy setting and draw attention nationally. That wasn't the only time that LeVar found a way to create attention for his kids, though. LeVar started to make headlines with bold comments that he made to several media outlets in 2015 to 2017, mostly regarding his son's basketball prospects. However, he did make some bombastic claims of his own, saying that he could beat all-time great player Michael Jordan in a one-on-one matchup, telling USA Today, quote, "Back in my heyday, I would kill Michael Jordan one-on-one. I would just back Jordan in and lift him off the ground and call a foul every time he fouls me when I do a jump hook to the right or the left. He cannot stop me one-on-one. He better make every shot because he can't go around me. He's not fast enough. And he can only make so many shots outside before I make every bucket under the rim." Wow, buddy. He continued these comments on ESPN shows, including a classic appearance on First Take alongside Stephen A. Smith. The popularity of these segments led to Ball becoming a frequent guest on ESPN programs. LeVar's frequent appearances on the ESPN platform ended in June of 2019 after he made suggestive comments to First Take host Molly Quirm during an appearance on the show. Perhaps LeVar's most famous or infamous contribution to the sports world, though, was his creation of the Big Baller brand in 2016. LeVar doesn't run the operations individually, but he works directly alongside his sons to manage the brand, which has released shoes, shirts, and recently even exercise bars for young athletes to do pull-ups, dips, and push-ups with. LeVar and Big Baller brand have come under some fire for overpricing their merchandise, including when they priced their first shoe line, the Z02, at $495, that's $495 per pair back in March 2017. This attracted criticism from athletes and commentators alike, but the always brash LeVar simply responded by saying, "If you can't afford the Z02s, you're not a big baller." You could argue that this is part of what's wrong with LeVar, but at least he's entertaining, you know? He's an individual. To me, though, this kind of begs the question. What kind of woman could put up with LeVar's antics? Tina Ball is apparently a truly special woman to put up with LeVar. Christina Catherine Ball, her maiden name was Slatinsky, was born on December 11, 1967 in Miami, Florida, to Robert and Catherine Slatinsky. Like LeVar, she grew up playing basketball and excelled as a four-year player at Alta Loma High School in California. She averaged over 15 points and 18 rebounds per game in high school, making her attractive to collegiate recruiters. She decided to stay in California and attend Cal State Los Angeles, where she had a pretty stellar career, which ended up putting her into the top 10 in several statistical categories in their conference. Regarding how her and LeVar met, LeVar told the story to Max Preps in an interview in March of 2016, saying, "She played basketball at Cal State Los Angeles. I transferred from Washington State to Cal State Los Angeles and saw her in the hall. Wow. She knocked me off my feet. I stopped her in the hall and said, I don't know what we're going to do together, but we're going to do something. She was like, is this guy cocky or what?" Tina and LeVar got married in '97, the same year in which they had their first child, Lonzo, and after getting married, LeVar and Tina started their family together, and as LeVar would later say, the plan was underway. Get me them boys. I told her I wanted 3 boys, and well, that's exactly what I got. LeVar agrees that his wife is a huge part of their children's upbringing, even if she is definitely the quieter of the two parents. As LeVar told Anscape for a 2017 profile, quote, "She's a big part of this. She goes to all the PTA meetings too, but those are short meetings since my boys are 4.0 students." End quote. Kind of a bizarre quote, but there you go. Just when things were going well for the family, Tina suffered a severe stroke in February 2017 and everything changed. She needed an extended amount of time to recover as she suffered from expressive aphasia, which prevented her from verbalizing her thoughts as they formulated in her head. As a result, her already quiet role in the very public Ball family became even more limited as her family's support only increased. LeVar even backed down at least somewhat his trademark boastfulness in support of his wife. During a December 2017 birthday dinner for his wife that was later shown on an episode of the reality show Ball in the Family, LeVar gave an impassioned speech about his wife saying, quote, "Listen, I used to always think that the key to life is having a passion to do something, and then if you happen to get paid for it, I used to say you won in life. The only thing I say different now is if you're lucky enough hopefully you guys are, is to find somebody that you can get old with. And I think that's the key to life. I went to Tina's birthday when she was 21 years old. First birthday, it's been 30 years that have went by. We got these beautiful sons, all you guys, friends, family. I got lucky. I wouldn't trade this for the world, and I think that's the key to life." End quote. At other times, LeVar used his trademark competitiveness to try and motivate her in her recovery. He prohibited Tina from using a wheelchair and would try and speed up her recovery by saying things to Tina like, quote, "Keep moving slow. I'm gonna be inside with the AC blowing. Shoot, I'm not waiting all day for you to walk across the street. You better get to moving." He added an even more eye-opening comment saying, quote, "That's probably why she had the stroke, so she can be quiet for a minute." End quote. What a guy. In an October 2019 interview, Lonzo talked to NBA insider Adrian Wojnarowski about his mother's impact on his family and career, saying, quote, "Everybody sees my dad in the media, so everybody thinks he has a big role. Obviously he does in the family, but my mom is kind of the person who held everything together. If you ask anybody in the family, that's the only person my dad would listen to, honestly. When she went down, it was tough for everybody. That's the first time I've seen my dad cry. It was tough on the family, and it just hits you different." Lonzo continued, "Obviously, it's a long journey with her. The whole time we know she's strong, but it's tough just being with her the last couple of years and seeing everything she has to go through. Especially with us being in the media all the time, but she's strong. She's getting back. She rehabs 5 times a week. She understands everything, which is great. Now it's just about getting her movement back and being able to get the speech out." End quote. Even today, Tina's speech is limited, though her recovery has still been remarkable and has allowed her to support her 3 successful sons, who we'll get into right now. Lonzo Anderson Ball was born on October 27, 1997 to LeVar and Tina Bell in Anaheim, California. He started playing basketball when he was only 2 years old and quickly became a stellar player. He played on his parents' AAU team during his youth before eventually attending Chino Hills High School. At Chino Hills, Lonzo became a dominant player, leading the school to an undefeated 35-0 record in their first ever state championship in his junior season. Their fast-paced three-point heavy approach took Chino Hills' offense to record-breaking heights. In his senior season, Lonzo was even better, averaging a triple-double with nearly 24 points per game. This earned him awards like the Naismith Prep Player of the Year and a scholarship to UCLA. Showered with attention during his time with Chino Hills, many wondered if Lonzo would continue at the same level during his collegiate career. LeVar was full of confidence, saying, quote, "Lonzo will be used the exact same way he is used now. That's what's going to shock everybody. He's going to change the whole dynamic of the team over there. Everybody has to adjust to him. Because UCLA coach Alford knows I'm not giving him a player to change, he's been watching my boys for a long time. He knows exactly what they do." End quote. Lonzo had an excellent collegiate career, even if it only lasted for 1 season. He matched up against top players in the draft class like Markelle Fultz and De'Aaron Fox while leading UCLA to the Sweet 16, where they fell to a vaunted Kentucky team. Overall, Lonzo averaged 14.6 points, 7.6 assists, and 6 rebounds per game, and did enough to become the 2nd overall pick in that year's draft by the Los Angeles Lakers, where he was billed by Lakers legend Magic Johnson as the new face of the Lakers. He struggled with his shooting for his first few seasons with them, though, and was eventually traded to the New Orleans Pelicans in July of 2019, which was the trade that involved Anthony Davis. Do you think this was the right move for the Lakers? I mean, probably, honestly. But do you? He reached new heights with the Pelicans, thriving in a 3-and-D role under coach Stan Van Gundy. This led to him being an unrestricted free agent in the 2021 offseason, where he signed with the Chicago Bulls. Unfortunately, Ball has largely been unable to play for the Bulls due to a series of injuries on his left knee. At this point, it's actually unclear whether Ball will play ever again in the NBA, and he definitely won't be back in the 23-24 season. Lonzo might be the oldest Ball brother, but the middle Ball brother might have the most interesting history out of all of them. LiAngelo Robert Ball was born on November 24, 1998 to LeVar and Tina Ball in Anaheim, California. LiAngelo also played for the Big Ballers VXT AAU team before attending Chino Hills High School. He also played a large role in their high-flying scheme, but he was only a 3-star recruit versus Lonzo, who was a 5-star recruit. He decided to attend UCLA like Lonzo, but unfortunately didn't get the chance to play with the team during the regular season after an incident during a team visit to China. Reportedly, LiAngelo and 2 other teammates stole sunglasses from a Louis Vuitton store in Hangzhou and were arrested. LiAngelo was able to get out of the initial charges against them, which may have put them in jail for 3 to 10 years, but both LeVar and LiAngelo became frustrated with the length of the suspension and decided to move to Lithuania to play professionally. In Lithuania, LiAngelo played well, but was still not selected in the 2018 NBA draft. He tried to play in the Junior Basketball Association, which was a league formed by his father LeVar, but the league folded shortly after. Since then, LiAngelo has bounced around several different NBA G League teams, including those run by the Thunder and the Pistons, before signing with the Charlotte Hornets on the invitation of his brother LaMelo. LiAngelo played with the Greensboro Swarm, the Hornets G League affiliate, for 2 seasons, but he's not currently on an NBA or G League roster. Do you think that LiAngelo deserves another chance on an NBA roster? It's hard to say. I mean, it seems like he's having trouble in the G League, but, he's got potential. We've covered the oldest 2 Ball brothers, but there's one more who is the most successful of the 3, arguably. LaMelo LaFrance Ball was born on August 22, 2001 to LeVar and Tina Ball in Anaheim, California. Like Lonzo and LiAngelo, LaMelo played for his parents' AAU team and Chino Hills High School. At Chino Hills, LaMelo was a part of the fast-paced offense that his dad LeVar implemented, becoming known for his sharp-shooting approach even from an obscene 40-foot distance. This was something that he'd been practicing for years with LeVar, saying, "I got LaMelo taking those since he was 7 years old. I got all my boys shooting from damn near half court." Steph Curry who, right? In fact, LaMelo had been playing against older and conventionally better competition since he was very young, as LeVar also explained. Quote, "LaMelo never played against kids his own age. That's why it's so easy for him in high school. He's been playing 17U since he was 11 years old. I had him playing against 8th graders when he was 6 or 7. That's nothing new to him. He's always seen people's stomachs. He ain't never been face to face with nobody." After a coaching change at Chino Hills before his junior season, LeVar pulled LaMelo out of school and placed him in the professional realm as a part of the Lithuanian Basketball League and later as a member of LeVar's newly formed Junior Basketball Association. This path ultimately led him back to high school, where he played at Spire Institute and Academy in Ohio. He aided the team in reaching the state championship and was ultimately made the MVP of the team. Like Lonzo, LaMelo was a 5-star recruit, but instead decided to play professionally again in the Australian-based National Basketball League. Here, LaMelo played with the Lawara Hawks, but only was a part of the team for a few months before a foot injury sidelined him for the rest of the season in anticipation of the 2020 draft. After being the 3rd overall pick in that draft by the Charlotte Hornets, LaMelo excelled right away, earning the Rookie of the Year award in his first season after averaging 15.7 points per game. He's improved even more in subsequent seasons, making his first All-Star appearance in the 21-22 season before having his best season in the 23-24 season. He has averaged over 25 points per game so far to go along with 8.6 assists and looks to be one of the very best scorers and playmakers in the entire league. Do you think LaMelo will be a Hall of Famer one day? Lonzo, LiAngelo, and LaMelo might be the 3 main Ball brothers, but there's one more member of the Ball family who has had a high-level basketball career. Andre, or Dre Ball, was born on July 9, 2000 in Chino Hills, California. Growing up, he often played with his cousins Lonzo, LiAngelo, and LaMelo Ball. As Lonzo said later, quote, "We basically raised him. Out of all the cousins, he's probably the closest to us. He's like our 4th brother." End quote. Dre also attended Chino Hills High School, but didn't break out until a change in the scheme in the school's basketball program allowed him to blossom. Previously, he had been a little-known cog in the machine that was the Chino Hills offense, primarily passing the ball to create open looks for his cousins. In 17-18, though, he broke out after all 3 Ball brothers were no longer at Chino Hills, averaging over 15 points per game and leading Chino Hills on a playoff run. This earned Dre a scholarship to Pepperdine University, where he had an opportunity to make his own name for himself. The transition was certainly an adjustment, as Dre said during his first season there, quote, "We didn't have any structure in high school, so it was frustrating at first, but I've been slowly finding my groove. Guarding people here from high school is completely different, but I've been trying to talk more on defense, be in the right spot for help, and I think my on-ball defense has gotten a lot better." Dre stayed at Pepperdine for 3 seasons in which he never averaged more than 3.3 points per game while dealing with a lot of injuries. He ultimately made the decision to transfer to Cal State Dominguez, where he is currently in his final season of eligibility in his senior year at the school. He's averaged so far 11 points per game while starting 10 of 24 games and looks primed to finish out his collegiate career in at least some form of style. We've covered the main family, but you know that the Ball brothers have had plenty of romantic relationships that add a colorful dynamic to the family story. Denise Garcia was born on April 14, 1996 in California. She first met Lonzo Ball at Chino Hills High School and they were both students. Denise was a junior at the time while Lonzo was a freshman. The pair began dating in 2014 and have been off and on ever since then. The two have had a rocky relationship stemming from that initial pairing, breaking up and getting back together multiple times. In October 2020, Denise said on an episode of Ball and the Family, quote, "No matter how ugly things get, we will always find a way to get back together." End quote. I don't know about you, but calling a relationship ugly doesn't make me very confident in that future. As it turns out, the two did break up again sometime in early 2022, though they continue to co-parent their daughter Zoe. After their breakup, Denise seemingly spoke about her relationship with Lonzo, writing in an April 2022 Instagram Q&A, quote, "What caused me to lose my happiness was having toxic, negative relationship in my life. What helped me gain it back was ultimately God and myself first, and then eliminating those negative relationships with people. As I continue to develop a closer relationship with God, it has helped me have a deeper understanding of myself and what His plan is for me." End quote. As you might have guessed from the fact that Denise was even doing an Instagram Q&A in the first place, her main job at the moment is being an Instagram model. She currently has over 340,000 followers on the platform, but she's not the only Instagram model Lonzo has been with. Ali Russell was born on August 2nd, 1997 in California and attended Canyon High School. After attending Canyon High School, she moved to the University of California, Los Angeles, or UCLA, a college that she shares, of course, with Lonzo Ball. At UCLA, she studied communications. Lonzo isn't the only NBA player that Ali has dated, actually. She has also spent time with Jordan Clarkson, ironically Lonzo's former teammate. In her career, she is a model, mainly on Instagram, which also runs an online apparel store. Russell started dating Lonzo in 2020, but it wasn't always very easy for them. Ali and Lonzo actually broke up in November 2020, but eventually got back together publicly in dramatic fashion in March of 2021 by getting engaged. They haven't gotten married yet, but it's fair to expect that wedding bells are going to be ringing soon for the couple. Isabella, or Izzy Morris, was born on December 10, 1999 in Chino Hills, California. She met LiAngelo while both of them were students at Chino Hills High School, and they stayed together through some pretty difficult times. That includes LiAngelo's infamous China arrest, but that love didn't sustain throughout LiAngelo's career as they broke up in 2018. Currently, Izzy is an Instagram model who has over 110,000 followers on the platform. But who did LiAngelo date after Izzy? Spoiler alert, there's some drama involved between the two. Jaden Owens was born on June 30th, 2000 to Harold and Tony Owens. She attended Plano West High School in Texas. Here she excelled in basketball, earning a 5-star ranking by recruiting services for her exploits at the point guard position. This led to Jaden committing to play for the UCLA women's basketball team, beginning with the 2019 season. Interestingly, Jaden isn't the only member of her family to play Division I basketball. Both of her older sisters, Devry and Callie, also played at that level. LiAngelo Ball started dating Jaden Owens in 2018, and as we kinda mentioned, the drama started pretty quickly between the two. After a seemingly innocuous post by Owens on Instagram, which he captioned, "Heard you wanna be like me, but you ain't got what it takes," Izzy, his other ex, and Jaden got into it. Basically, by getting into it, I just mean they shared some emojis back and forth in the comments, but, you know, whatever. Eventually, LiAngelo and Jaden broke up sometime in 2021. On the court, Owens eventually transferred to Baylor University after struggling to get on the court with UCLA during her freshman season. About the transfer to Baylor, LiAngelo said, quote, "It's a winning program, and when you go there, you have no other expectations but to win. It's just going somewhere with great tradition that wants to win, and that's close to home." With the Baylor Bears, Owens continued to put up relatively low numbers, unfortunately. She was the main point guard at Baylor for her senior season and did rank in the top 20 in assists per game during that year. With her undergraduate eligibility now over, Owens transferred to TCU for her graduate eligibility season, where she'll finish out her college career. LiAngelo's dating history isn't done yet. Ivani Barber was born on October 30th, 1996 in Richmond, Virginia. She is a musician and released her first single entitled Levi in 2017, though she had already been making music when she was only 16 years old in 2012. Barber has also released an album in 2019 which was called Darkest Day. Ivani and LiAngelo got together sometime in 2021 following LiAngelo's breakup with Jaden Owens. Early in their relationship, Barbara shared a TikTok that showed how confident she was in her future with LiAngelo, captioning it, quote, "It's the fact I know that this is a forever thing with us. Never been so sure about someone but you. You are my person. Love you." End quote. As other basketball girlfriends before her and after her had learned, being with a player of LiAngelo's profile comes with criticism, like when she wasn't present for LiAngelo's breakout Summer League performance in summer 2021, she hit back writing on Instagram, quote, "I don't really like addressing shit. Shut the fuck up and let me watch the game in peace and stop worrying about what I'm doing. Your main focus needs to be on LiAngelo, not where I'm at, because I'm at home because I have work to do. Watch the fucking game." Even with her voracious support, the two didn't last forever, as Ivani first predicted. It's unclear when exactly they broke up, but they're no longer together. Instead, LiAngelo is currently with Nikki Mudaris. Was born on June 28, 1990 in Los Angeles, California to Abu and Michelle Mudaris. She's brought up in Hollywood Hills, and her family owns several strip clubs actually in Los Angeles and Las Vegas called Seventh Veil and The Body Shop. In fact, Nikki's father Abu is nicknamed the Godfather of Burlesque for his prolific role in adult entertainment. Nikki rose to fame as a cast member of Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. Throughout the course of her role on the show for the first 6 seasons of the show, she did several different rappers and people in the music industry, including Molly Mall, Lil Fizz, and Safaree Samuels. She would later appear on other spin-off shows like Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. In addition, she launched her own lingerie line known as Nude by Nikki during her first few seasons on the reality show. Mudaris is also a realtor in Los Angeles, working as part of the Watson Solari Group through Coldwell Banker. About her real estate career, she says, quote, "Growing up with parents surrounded by real estate, I was able to get a sense of the world and immediately fell in love with real estate. With my passion and knowledge of real estate, I'm determined to find my clients their dream homes. Quality service and building a relationship with my clients is my first priority." End quote. While it's not clear when exactly they started dating, Ball and Mudaris apparently met the old-fashioned way, by running into each other out in the real world. The two met on a hike in Los Angeles, with Mudaris telling Sheen magazine, quote, "We ran into each other. When we were at Runyon Canyon walking our dogs, we exchanged numbers and just went from there." End quote. Nikki became pregnant with LiAngelo's baby in late 2022, and they announced the pregnancy in a People magazine feature in April 2023 by saying, "We're both so excited about becoming parents. We spoke about having a life and kids when we first met, our goals, dreams, life we wanted, and then it really happened. We can't wait to meet our baby and begin this new chapter together. It's super exciting for us both being first-time parents and getting to experience everything together." End quote. In fact, the couple did have their first child in July 2023, but more on that later. Ashley Alvano was born on December 20th, 2000 in Los Angeles, California. LaMelo began dating Alvano when both of them were in high school in September 2017, and the pair were together for several years before eventually breaking up. Since dating LaMelo, Alvano has been seen hanging out with other basketball players, including current Lakers players Rui Hachimura. She has over 100,000 followers on Instagram, and it seems that her main job is promoting products on her page as an Instagram model. But again, that kind of begs the question, who is LaMelo with now? Annalisa Chavez, also known as Anna Montana, was born on October 9, 1989 in New Bedford, Massachusetts. She attended Bedford High School in the area and graduated in 2008. Anna rose to prominence as a model both on Instagram as well as in music, videos, magazines, and various types of other advertisements. She currently has a gigantic following on Instagram with over 3.3 million followers. It's unclear when she first started dating LaMelo, but the relationship is rumored to have started back in 2022. The relationship has drawn some criticism from outside sources who have pointed out that the 12-year age gap is kind of weird between the couple, but by all accounts things seem to be going very well for the two. For example, LaMelo recently showered his girlfriend with love in an Instagram post for her 34th birthday back on October 9th, saying, "What's understood don't need to be said. You the one and already know how we rockin', shorty. I love you and happy birthday, baby, blessings everywhere." End quote. One thing that Anna and LaMelo don't have yet though is children, but both of the other Ball brothers already have that covered. Zoe Christina Ball was born to Alonzo Ball and Denise Garcia on July 22, 2018 in Chino Hills, California. There isn't much that has appeared publicly about Zoe yet, other than several appearances on the social media accounts of her parents and at events like the 2019 Kids' Choice Sports Awards. What we do know is that Zoe's parents, Denise and Lonzo, are no longer together, of course. Even still, they have made Zoe their top priority, with Lonzo saying during the season 4 premiere of Ball in the Family, quote, "As of today, me and Denise are not together. It's just one of those things that happened. I'll always have love for Denise. She's the mother of my child. She's always cool with me no matter what. Main priority is Zoe. Basically, I'm gonna see Zoe wherever I can, so as long as she's taken care of, she has both parents in her life. That's all that matters." For several years, Zoe was the only member of the new generation of the Ball dynasty, that is, until LaVelo Anthony Ball was born on July 19, 2023 to LeAngelo Ball and Nikki Mudaris. As he was born only a few months ago, there obviously isn't a whole lot of information available yet about him. His mother Nikki did share an Instagram post announcing his birth, writing, "My son, you gave me a purpose in life. I promise to love you, guide you, protect you, and be with you every step of the way. I promise to teach you right from wrong and be the best mommy to you I can be. I love you so much. You changed my world. You make my heart so full and complete. The second I saw you, I never felt the love I felt with you. I'm so thankful to have you and that you picked me as your mommy." End quote. Only time will tell what LaVelo becomes as a person, and maybe he'll go on the court and become the best Ball basketball player yet. It's possible. But now the video's ending, and who's your favorite family member? Go ahead and give me that in the comment section below, and do you think LaVelo will one day be a star pro athlete like the other Balls? And while you're answering that question, why don't you like the video if you like it and comment below, and be sure to subscribe for more basketball content.